Alright, we are back for more severe weather coverage. Thank you for joining us here on this Friday evening. We have a very strong line of severe thunderstorms working their way through Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas right now. We've been talking about spin-up tornadoes left and right, and we may actually have a tornado trying to get in progress or already in progress here in South Fort Worth, Texas, near Edgecliff Village. We have gotten many reports of power flashes and rotation within this line. There have been obviously a lot of areas of rotation even visible by radar, so this has been a very tornado potent line, and it looks to be going right through the heart of Dallas and Fort Worth. Right now, Fort Worth, you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning for wind gusts up to 65 miles per hour and penny-sized hail. However, I would warrant definitely the possibility of seeing wind gusts up to 70, maybe as high as 80 miles per hour. Again, this seems to be a very, very strong, potentially destructive line. We do have flash flood warnings covering the entire northern part of this line, as obviously this is a very slow-moving and heavy rain producer. But look at this inflow notch starting to develop again on our Fort Worth part of the line, this huge kink in the line. Again, that is a really concerning look there on radar, just kind of that presentation there, really supportive of obviously a tornado trying to get going. So I decided why not hop on here again, trying to make sure that everyone in this area is aware of the situation. So let me pull up stream chat. If anybody has any questions about their location, feel free to let me know in chat, but we're going to get started here in just a second. So let me once again pull this right up, and we are good to go. Alright, so again, still watching as this line makes its way through the Fort Worth, Dallas Metroplex. Again, really concerned about what we're going to be seeing through the night. So I don't believe we have any tornado warnings at the moment. Again, with 4 severe thunderstorm warnings and a couple of flash flood warnings. So the strongest part of the line obviously is out here in Fort Worth. If you look over the past couple of scans, you can see that this part of the line has been producing tornadoes, or at least trying to produce tornadoes left and right. Again, look at these 2 areas of rotation that we had earlier. It looks like this one recycled, and at this point is starting to show even better signs of obviously going tornadic there. So again, back when it was just south of Weatherford, that's when it was last, most potent to produce. We did have a couple tornado warnings earlier today. I'm not sure if any of them went confirmed. But again, that is the latest as of right now. So you can see that velocity couplet, again, super tight. Right now, this possible tornado developing is crossing Interstate 35 West towards Hanley, Enderville, Forest Hill, and Edgecliff Village. So if you know anyone in this location, or if you are in any of these locations, again, make sure you are getting into your safe spot. This is not the only area of rotation we're watching. We're watching a lot of areas along this line, again, specifically in these areas, but this is obviously a dominant area. Look how many areas of rotation are trying to develop out here on the south part of this line. Alright, so any stronger amount of inflow, obviously this is what happens with these events. Any stronger amount of inflow that tries to work its way into this line, you're going to start to get something to try to spin up, because obviously this is a very outflow dominant QLCS system. So this is what we're, this is what we mean by spin up tornadoes. This is a prime example of that, and that is exactly what's happening here. Again, it's South Fort Worth, Texas, as we speak. So still waiting on a second reflectivity scan to give us an idea of what this is actually going to be looking like here. Again, it really does look like, though, we could be talking about a unwarned tornado on the ground. Again, it is very, very possible that we have a serious situation ongoing in South Fort Worth. And there we go. I believe if that is not contamination, we may have a debris signature. Oh yeah, that's a tornado. Okay, so for everyone just tuning in, we have a tornado in progress here. This is an unwarned tornado on the south side of Fort Worth, Texas. Get to shelter immediately. Again, this is an unwarned tornado on the ground doing damage in South Fort Worth, Texas. If you know anyone in this area, please make sure that they are aware of the ongoing situation. Again, take cover now if in any of these areas. I just noticed that CC drop, but that is a radar confirmed tornado, so we likely will get a warning. Hopefully we'll get a warning out here in a second. Again, it appears that was actually on the ground a couple minutes ago. Again, it came out of that right here. This is where we saw that debris signature. And again, now it would be over Handley. So if you are in Enderville or Handley, take cover now. Again, that happened very quickly. Wow. Alright, let me just send this message here to the chat, and we'll be good to go. Again, still watching, as this QLCF spin-up tornado moves right into Fort Worth. Again, this is a very unfortunate situation. Pretty unclear on the strength. Wow, okay, so it looks like the main couplet, at least, like the, tightest area rotation, it's up here, crossing, Interstate 3, okay? This looks to be a little bit more on the weaker side. However, I do think that this could actually be recycling, and I'll show you guys why in reflectivity. You can see how all that inflow is starting to get clogged up. Again, this is where your tornado is right now. It's just north of the Highway 287 bus stop, so it is currently around East Rosedale Street, crossing Martin Luther King Jr. Highway and Tom Landry Highway in Fort Worth, Texas. So all of that precipitation on the northern side of that kind of kink there, or inflow notch, that's all clogging up this inflow. So that's going to disable the storm's ability to obviously continue to support the tornado's inflow. Again, the RFD surge is going to be very strong with this tornado, so you're likely going to get a pocket of, at least, even if this is a weak tornado, you're likely going to get a pocket of 80 to 90 mile per hour winds. So again, either way, this is an incredibly dangerous situation just due to the RFD jet, but also just due to, obviously, the potential tornado we have in progress. But the reason I think this is recycling is because the overall couplet, which you can see here, this is the couplet we're talking about. You can see how large it is and how broad. If this was during the day and you took a time lapse, you would see all of that rotating slowly. Alright, so because this inflow is starting to get a lot stronger here on the outside, then that could be a sign of, again, potentially a couple handoff or just a kind of recycling phase, and that's exactly what we've seen all day today. So not a surprise at all. I mean, there you go. That's the next scan. I mean, it's completely gone at this point. You just have one huge inflow notch developing. Again, you can still pretty clearly see it, but it's just so clogged up that it's not healthy at all anymore. So if you're in downtown Fort Worth, again, stay in your safe spot. But if you're south of Fort Worth, you're good at this point. So Edgecliff Village, Forest Hill, Benbrook, again, stay indoors, obviously, due to the very damaging winds present in the area, and obviously the severe thunderstorm warning. But the tornado threat, again, is only going out for places like Haltom City, North Richland Hills, Hearst, Bedford, and Euless, as well as Arlington. All of these areas are, again, under the gun for this potential tornado that, again, appears to have lifted moments ago. But, again, we did have a very clear CC drop. I just noticed that. Again, I saw Davis went live and he said unwarned tornado on the ground, so obviously there's a reason why he went live at the same time I did, and sure enough, I checked CC and there it was. So this is where the tornado went through. Again, this was likely at its strongest point as it crossed South Highway 35 West, and then pretty much lifted past then. So again, we're yet to get another CC scan, but it appears that this tornado has lifted. But I would not be shocked at all if this touches down once again. Again, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We want to be able to get the stream to as many people as possible. Again, I know this is a pretty abrupt live stream. Usually we don't do these. Usually we're only live for those days where we know something is going to happen. This is pretty abrupt. Again, you have such a populated area and a nasty line of severe thunderstorms. But keep in mind, this is actually a pretty significant and impactful day of severe weather. We do have a slight risk for severe weather. We have a secondary part of kind of this whole event, our little MCS or QLCS, or whatever you want to call it, our squall line down here in southern Texas. So this is also a severe warning squall line. Looks a lot stronger here near Rock Springs and Comstock. This is where we're talking about potentially up to 70-mile-an-hour winds and small hail, so out towards Rock Springs as well. Again, anywhere, if you're in the path of this line, make sure you are getting yourselves indoors and away from windows. That is a very strong pocket of winds. Again, wow, you are talking about wind gusts potentially over 80 miles per hour with that. So this will be approaching the radar sites. We'll see what kind of readings we get, obviously, as the scans get a little bit closer to the radar. So the closer this gets to the radar, the more or the less elevated the winds will be. But that looks to be very, very significant. So again, if you're in any towns like Del Rio, really, I mean, this is very rural Texas, but Carter Valley and areas north of there, especially along Highway 377. Again, if you find yourself in these areas, please be sure to get into shelter, as well as Rock Springs. Shelter being a sturdy home, obviously get away from windows. This is not a tornado. This is just a very strong pocket of damaging winds within the severe line. But Telegraph and Wilson Place, all of these areas need to be getting into a substantial home. Again, you really want to make sure that you're getting yourself away from windows, obviously due to the huge threat of damaging winds. And an isolated tornado, a spin-up tornado or two cannot be ruled out with this part of the line as well. What's up, Pete? Thank you for tuning in. Good to see you. So today we have a 5% tornado threat again for ourselves that did end up impacting central Texas, and now this is pretty much an entirely QLCS mode of severe storms. Storm Chaser John McKinney is working his way farther south here. He was in North DFW, Texas, so he's getting pounded by the northern side of the squall line. Still getting some gusty winds and some heavy rainfall, some lightning. This was previously severe warning. They have since then taken down the severe thunderstorm warning, or I think they let it expire. Really what we got going on is we just got a whole lot of inflow on the northern side. Something happened here and the line finally kind of gave out, I guess. And you also allowed for a huge RFD surge on the backside, or outflow surge, I should say. So basically, on the north side of Fort Worth is getting split in half right now. Okay, the north side up towards Bedford, Flower Mound, and Irving, this is where we're talking about a huge pocket of inflow winds. Okay, that's where you can see that notch. Then on South Fort Worth near Burleson and Benbrook, this is where we're talking about a huge pocket of outflow winds. Okay, so when both of these combine, you get a couplet where you get rotation, and that is a, this was a great example of just that. I mean, literally within minutes, we had a fairly damaging tornado on the ground. Again, we had a pretty visible CC drop for a couple of scans. We did just now get a 67, oh my gosh, a 67 mile per hour wind report near Cannondale, Texas. I don't know what that was. I've just been surrounded by 6-7 jokes all day, so that was the first thing that came to mind. If that annoys anyone, I apologize in advance. You can throw whatever mean words you want to throw at me, but just trying to have a little fun here. Again, close to 70 mile an hour winds, already showing obviously the potential for this line to be producing some stronger wind gusts than what it's currently warned for. It's warned for 65, which is right around what we've been seeing. But again, I really wouldn't doubt seeing wind gusts potentially near or over 70 miles per hour. We have a camera out here in Glen Heights, Texas. This is ahead of the severe thunderstorm by quite a few miles, but if we do see the southern part of this line starts to re-strengthen, which is currently severe warned, then we will actually get a direct hit. Again, this is the part of the line that will end up hitting the cam. We could get a nice view at the shelf cloud if the camera operator is aware of the situation. Again, this is just a textbook QLCS. That is eye candy. That is beautiful. So at this point, Arlington and Grand Prairie, Texas, you guys are about to get slammed by a pocket of damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour, torrential rain, lightning, and obviously the threat of a spin-up tornado. Again, it only took a couple of scans for us to get a full-blown area of rotation CC drop. So that's how quickly these things can happen. Again, unfortunately, right in the middle of the DFW Metroplex. Wow. This is what it's looking like in Killeen, Texas. Pretty fair conditions. Again, down here we're talking about mostly some showery thunderstorms. There's an outflow boundary approaching the camera, so you're going to start to get some gustier winds here. But heavy rain, gusty winds, some lightning, some thunder, that's really what you could expect. But the worst of the line is way off due north. Back down here to our line near Comstock and Rock Springs, Texas. Again, watching for the potential to see wind gusts over 70 miles per hour. That is a very significant pocket of winds. Again, continuing to watch this. These are elevated winds, but we could be talking about potentially winds up to 80 miles per hour. So I would be not surprised at all if we did see eventually this severe warning get upgraded to 80 mile per hour winds. We also do have a severe thunderstorm warning up here near Junction, Texas, just south of I-10. That did get upgraded just now to half-dollar-sized hail and 60 mile per hour winds. It's for that prefrontal supercell there that is charging its way across the I-10 corridor out here. So that's pretty much what we got on the table for us tonight. Again, pretty active night out here in Texas. Alright, I'm going to grab something real quick. I'll be like 5 seconds. It's not going to be quick. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. That took so long. Clearly. Alright, let me keep my phone propped up here so I can check on stream chat. What's up, kids? Storm coverage. Again, make sure you all hit the like and subscribe button. Last time I checked, we were 1 subscriber away from the big 1.52K. So it would mean a lot if you guys could make that happen tonight. So at this point, the pocket of rotation would be going through the Ederville, North Richland Hills, Bedford, and Ulysses area out here in, again, northern Fort Worth, Texas. But moments ago, we did have a damaging tornado, again, tear right through the southern part of Fort Worth. Rotation seems to be broad, but again, this inflow is becoming very, very strong. Again, I'm still watching for something to happen a little bit farther down south along the line towards places like Venus and Grandview, Texas. Nothing is imminent right now, but this is definitely catching my eye. Again, we've seen instances like this all the time where you just get a perfectly straight and fine line between very strong outflow and very strong inflow winds. Again, things can just happen so fast when you get such textbook events like this that, again, I really would be worried, not worried, but would be really watching all these areas closely along this line. Any parts of this line are going to have the potential to produce spin-up tornadoes, and again, I would not rule out seeing a strong tornado based off of what we just saw. Again, any kink in the line that develops is going to have the chance to, start rotating. But the main area of rotation is this one up here. It's gotten very broad since it last produced. Again, you could just see a whole lot of inflow digging into the northern side, but all of that outflow is kind of wrapping around much farther south, and that's what's causing this all to be broad. So there is rotation here. It's just very, very broad to the point where there's almost zero chance that it's going to end up producing anytime soon. So, not really able to point out any areas of rotation that are imminent, so nothing that we need to worry about at the very second. But I wouldn't say, obviously, again, that there's one that we need to watch specifically. I think just all of the parts of these lines, really from this northern Fort Worth area all the way down to like Cleburne, Texas. Excuse me. That's really where we need to watch out for possible rotation. But as always, we'll be right here, and we'll be able to pick it out as soon as we can. Again, down farther south, where we have our special weather statements, this is where nothing much is expected, other than obviously gusty winds, heavy rainfall, but that's mostly about it. Still watching down here into southern Texas for a possible quick spin up. Again, it's unlikely, but there's definitely a chance, again, with this linear mode. But this is a very strong line of storms. Again, potentially producing wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour. Would not be shocked if they did upgrade that tag. This seems to me like a very significant pocket of winds approaching Katara Valley, or Carter Valley, out here in Texas. It's late, guys. I mean, I'm used to streaming this late, but it's been a very long day, and I've been glued to the weather just due to how active it's been, so forgive me about my commentary. Okay, so we did get a new severe thunderstorm warning. They extended it here for this prefrontal cell. Or really, yeah, they just expanded the warning. They issued another one. I believe the only town out here is Junction Windmill, but Junction Windmill and Mountain Home, you guys are now under a severe thunderstorm warning for penny-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Make sure you're getting indoors and away from windows. But behind that, we have this very strong line, again, approaching areas south of Rock Springs, Texas, getting a little bit closer towards Bracketville and Spofford. So, keep in mind, down the line, again, this is looking to be a much more long-lasting line than you'd usually see. They did finally reissue that warning and extend it for, now, Dallas, Texas, including all of the metro area, Irving, Carrollton, Garland, Dallas, Mesquite, Cockrell Hill, Grand Prairie, Duncanville, Hutchins, Lancaster, DeSoto, Cedar Hill, and Wilmer. All of these areas now are under a severe thunderstorm warning for penny-sized hail and 65-mile-per-hour winds, so they did not change any of the tags here, but again, that is for the northern side of this storm, or this line, I should say. I would honestly go with a tornado possible tag. I mean, it seems pretty, appropriate for this line, just considering what we just saw. Again, look how fast that happened. I mean, boom. Get a tornado to tear right through the lakeshore states, completely recycled, and then occluded to the north up here into Fort Worth. That's what we saw, basically, is we saw an occlusion. But you can see how deep the inflow is getting into the line. Again, you can almost see it wrapping around, which is pretty cool. I mean, again, this is a very textbook line, but basically what's happening here is all this inflow is forcing the outflow winds to move farther south. This is a very dynamic line here, but because of that suppression, all of that is going to get punched out. Like, if you have like a pillow or, I don't know, like a very thin sheet or whatever, and you punch it, you know how it kind of bulges out? That's exactly what we're seeing here on radar. We call it bull echo. And because it's so intense, the amount of inflow that's kind of shoving all of this outflow to go out in the same exact confined area, that means that we're probably going to get a couple areas out here. Again, really in the right around Arlington, into here is where we're going to see a pocket of likely the strongest damaging winds of the night. I would not be shocked. So, again, if we were to see a pocket of 70-plus mile-per-hour winds, I would put my money on that area. So, right into Arlington, Grand Prairie, Irving, and Dallas, Texas, you guys are expected to see, at least for me, the strongest of winds. So, it looks like John will be headed south into getting in position to intercept this part of the line.
wants to go, let's do it. Hold up, chat. I'm gonna rearrange everything here very quickly. I'm gonna flip my camera down. I'm still gonna be here, but I'm gonna move things so that I'm not.
Okay, Davis is going to call us up here, and he's going to join our stream, so I'm just going to open Discord just in case he does bring us up on there. Again, not sure what method he's going to choose. We have two methods. We have Discord and iMessage, so we'll see. Yeah, this has gotten very broad, so at this point, again, this is all outflow. The northern part, this is all outflow junk. Nothing much up there. However, again, up toward or down towards Midlothian, Venus, Maypearl, and Waxahachie, Texas. Waxahachie. Dude, I need to know how y'all pronounce those names, because I mean there are a lot of like names that are universally pronounced one specific way, but I feel like the locals always have their right way of pronouncing it, and I feel like that's just like it's just like respect and culture. I feel like I don't know. Again, John McKinney moving down south of Flower Mound, Texas. If this was during the day, there would be a gnarly shelf cloud, dude. Okay, so for the southern part of this line, I like what they did here. They issued a special weather statement for Waxahachie, Texas, Maypearl, Midlothian, and Red Oak. That does not mean the tornado threat is decreasing. It just means that the overall severe threat, meaning damaging winds and large hail, is decreasing. But there still is an equal chance of seeing tornadoes. And honestly, I think this is exactly where we would have the highest potential to see a tornado if we do get another one throughout the night, which, again, it's entirely possible that we won't see another one. But I think that to the north, we really don't need to worry a whole lot much unless this decides to recycle again. But I think just the amount of inflow that got into the line was so intense that it pretty much just got flipped back around and pushed out of the storm once again. It's almost like a vacuum here. It's just sucking in all of this wind. Like, if you're in Dallas right now, I know you're getting kind of some drizzle. It's probably really windy, and that is all inflow. And you know what's happening? It's getting wrapped up into the storm and getting pushed right back out. That's how things are working. So, yeah, I mean, it's a very dynamic line for sure. But it's pretty cool stuff. Again, make sure if you haven't already that you hit the like and subscribe button. We are one away from 15-20 subscribers, so it would really mean a lot if you guys could do that. So yeah. I can probably call like tomorrow. I mean, I wouldn't mind calling tomorrow, but I probably can't tonight just because it's getting a little later. And I would like to get a good sleep. Obviously, gotta get my good night's sleep. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to touch base tomorrow. Again, I'd really love if we got an idea of where this is looking. If this is looking in the right direction, again, we could get a nice view of a shelf cloud illuminated by lightning. This is in perfect position, again, to get hit. I mean, dude, wow, that is so close to that severe warning box there. Let's see how close that is. This is 318 yards away, 306 yards away from the severe warning line. So it is in the severe warning. So this is what it's going to look like in the severe force winds. It is in my area where I'm watching for the strongest winds, but yeah. Alright, good night, Mr. Twister. Thank you for tuning in, dude.
Much else in the way of referencing as of right now. Again, this QLCS is going to continue.
But we go back down here to our storm, again in southern Texas. Gosh, I didn't realize that Freddy got down here so fast, but he's actually in Sonora, Texas. He's actually starting to get in position for this line here. He needs a southern option, a southern road. We just did get a massive severe thunderstorm warning all the way out towards Bracketville, Spofford, Camp Wood, and Conkin, Texas for 70-mile-an-hour winds and penny-sized hail. Dude, look how far out this severe thunderstorm warning is. This tells you that they are very confident at the National Weather Service. This thing is going to produce damaging wind gusts for a very long time. Again, this goes out literally 55 miles ahead of where the line is right now. And the warning itself is going to last 57 minutes. So an hour-long warning that is extended 55 miles out ahead of the line. Alright, so again, just gives you guys an idea of, how confident they are and that this is going to be a very long-lasting event. So 2 lines that you have to look at. I just saw that, beat. Again, as we're doing this severe weather coverage, I'm conscious that the Blue Jays are playing Game 1 of the World Series. Go Blue Jays. Cannot root for the Dodgers. John's been sticking in the same area for quite a while, so we'll see what his plan is. I'm wondering if he's trying to see if we're going to get another spin up out here in the Colleyville and Bedford area, so we'll see, but what's up, Ryan? Good to see you in here. Again, the southern part of the line is very contaminated as well. And dude, this looks so much like a couplet, but it's not. But once again, there could be areas of rotation developing. South of Midlothian, Texas, could have some inflow developing. Not even going to say that this is rotation, because obviously it's so minor that we can't really say that. But you can just see these tiny kinks in the line developing. Sometimes it's just all you need for these things to happen. So, just watching. Again, Waxahachie, Texas, you guys are up next for this kind of part of the line. So, we'll see what it does. Again, stay tuned. Stick around. Did I talk about Melissa? I've not talked about Melissa yet. I'm planning on recording a forecast tonight. Again, it really all depends on how long this severe weather coverage lasts. But Tropical Storm and soon-to-be Hurricane Melissa is going to be a nuisance for the next couple of days. Again, it's just, I've been trying to stay covering it for a while, and we're going to have to continue to do so. But obviously, it's got its sights set on a direct landfall out here in Jamaica. Again, a direct high-end Category 4 impact. 165 mile per hour wind gusts with 140 mile per hour sustained winds. Again, the peak strength is expected to be 155 miles per hour. If this does happen during the afternoon, which they're expecting this to occur right around 2 p.m., we will do I guess we could do emergency live stream. Again, there's not really a lot we can do with no radar sites out here. I don't know how many chasers are going to be going out. Again, it's such a dangerous system, and also it's so hard to get out here, and it's also a very, confusing system. There's just so much confusion in the air with this that I feel like it's a very hard, chase to plan. Because obviously you're going to have to fly into this island, and you're risking, you're risking your life, obviously, but you're risking stranding yourself here for a couple days. So, do I think we're going to have chasers in here? There's a chance we literally won't. Do I think we're going to have chasers in here that let us use our live stream? Their live streams? Probably not, just considering that we literally only have about 4 chasers, I would say, that, let us use their live stream again. There's no talk of, SRM going out here. I mean, really, I don't know if anyone is, once again. But we could definitely look at satellite, and kind of track it as it moves through. But, I mean, you can only do so much, with a hurricane that's moving into, universal areas, if that makes sense. Yes, it will likely be a Category 4, Category 5 hurricane. Again, very high-end Category 4 hurricane expected, 155 mile per hour sustained winds. So, again, that is only 5 miles per hour shy of that Category 5 status. So, we'll just have to watch for future trends. Gosh, dude. Tons of lightning on this storm out here in Texas, southern Texas. So if Freddy decides to turn on his camera here, we'll be able to see how illuminated that is.
Now 28,000 people in Tarrant County without power. Yeah, that is significant. Oh shoot, I completely forgot about that, Vincent. That's my fault. Hold on. I was gonna call you, and I got distracted. Give me just a sec.
Alright, Dave's gonna call up. It is a crazy situation, though. Again, likely the strongest hurricane, or potentially the strongest hurricane of this year. At first, it really seemed we could have a historic hurricane, if we saw it go completely south of Jamaica. I mean, in the likes of which most of the models were showing, again, the European, all of the hurricane models, and the Canadian, they were all showing the hurricane going south of there. Okay. Hold up. Hello?
What's up?
What's good? So was that a CC drop that moved through Dallas, or Fort Worth?
Yeah, so we had a tornado on the ground for about 15 to 20 minutes. Not only was there a CC drop, but there were also, actual photos and videos of it.
Oh, really?
It was a rain-wrapped large tornado. Again, it moved through the south side of Fort Worth, but very close to downtown.
Wow. Who was on it?
I don't know if we had any chasers on it.
I mean, it completely stayed unwarned.
Yeah, I mean, they never threw a warning for or anything.
Again, the storm has turned completely outflow dominant, at least for the northern side. All of that inflow that abruptly, spun up that tornado, it's been pushed out the back, basically. And so, At this point, we're likely talking about, again, a damaging wind threat, mostly for the Dallas metro area. However, I wouldn't say a couple, but perhaps one more embedded tornado, spin-up tornado, cannot be ruled out here along this line later tonight. So we'll continue to watch, but again, nothing is imminent as of right now.
Yeah. So again, at this point, we're really just watching for significant damaging wind threat across central Texas. Surprisingly, we only have 5 severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, 4 of those come from our one line of storms moving through far southwestern Texas. Most of these are for damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour for areas near Rock Springs, Campwood, Bracketville, Spofford. If you guys are in these areas, you need to make sure that you are getting indoors and away from windows, even on velocities. We can actually measure the wind gusts just barely above the surface, or very close radar, so just barely above the surface at 80 miles an hour. So, again, make sure that you are taking this as seriously as possible, treating it like it's a tornado warning. Again, the same can't be said for our Dallas warning at this point, but just the fact that it is moving through a area with several million people is reason enough to keep an eye on it, obviously. So,
yeah, we watched this, we kind of alluded to this a couple minutes ago. Again, that pocket of kind of blue and deeper blue colors that you see here, this is where we're talking about, again, that threat for potentially wind gusts in excess of 70 miles per hour, up towards 80 miles per hour. This is going to be going up towards areas south of Campwood, Texas. So, Highway 55, you guys are up next, north of Bracketville. Again, very strong, potentially near destructive pocket of damaging winds coming your way. I'm unsure about if John is calling it quits or if he's just staying in the same area for a while, because he hasn't really moved for a little bit.
what would you say you could do?
I'm not really sure if John is calling it quits or if he's just staying in the same area, because he hasn't really moved for a while, and this line obviously is looking a lot less impressive than it did moments ago, so I don't know what he's planning, but...
So Bedford, Texas at this point is going to be past the worst of it. I wouldn't be shocked if you got put under a flash flood warning. Areas like Weatherford, areas like Gainesville, Decatur, Texas, all these regions are now under a flash flood warning, because not only are you dealing with this extremely torrential rainfall just now, but also last night you guys got hit by some intense thunderstorms as well. So again, flash flood warnings going up for much of the DFW Metroplex as our line continues to push further east, producing the same kind of rainfall. I wouldn't be shocked to see more of the same, potentially for areas even like downtown Dallas. I would not be super surprised to see a flash flood warning get issued.
Yeah. And not stuff that you want to see in the DFW Metroplex, but at this point, a tornado threat is very low and to near improbable here at this point. Again, the line looking a lot less impressive than it did, and there really haven't been a whole lot of areas of rotation that we've been able to point out and say, this looks concerning. There's just not been a lot of that recently, so at this point, it's mostly outflow dominant.
So, again, probably, at least I don't know about Vincent, but I'm probably not going to be here for a whole heck of a lot longer. Again, maybe we see another brief spin up tonight and I come back for like 30 minutes, but I would doubt that even happening. I, again, really wasn't planning on going live tonight at all, just because the mode was so messy and sloppy. I would love to sit here and watch these damage reports coming in, but I think just because it is late at night, again, obviously none of these areas have a great connection. We're not seeing any of those damage photos come out. And you don't have any chasers on this, because this is downtown Fort Worth, Texas. No chaser wants to move through downtown Fort Worth, Texas. So
we'll see what happens. Again, we are seeing photos and videos of the rain rat monster left, right, and center, but actual photos and videos of damage are yet to be seen for the most part. We have like trees down and stuff, but that could just be straight line wind related. It may not honestly be until tomorrow morning that we see any valuable reports of significant damage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm scouting Twitter right now, and there really isn't a whole lot. So.
Not a whole lot else to say there.
Yeah.
Just trying to think if there's anything else that I need to throw out here, because again, I'm probably not going to be here for too much longer. Again, just kind of a brief little emergency update here. Should probably change the title.
Is it bad that the first thing I did when I saw that 67 mile per hour wind report was the 6-7 hands?
No, I did too.
I literally, I've been hearing so many 6-7 jokes today that for some reason that was the first thing that came to mind, and I feel really sad because that means I'm brain rotted.
Well, I mean, it's crazy because, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a great story.
It is crazy. Dude, whenever that tornado touched down, the reflectivity presentation was eye candy. That was beautiful.
Yeah. Just a good rain coming in here from Mustang, Oklahoma. Some cloud-to-ground lightning. Other than that, a good rain, which is welcome. Yeah. All you guys out there in OKC, you guys got your action last night. You guys were dealing with those severe thunderstorms with that crazy hail that we were covering. And we didn't mention this on stream because this was kind of after we ended. I feel like I need to sneeze. But we did see a couple reports of large apple-sized hail from the east side of Oklahoma City last night. So, I mean, you guys got your significant severe thunderstorms last night. Tonight it was Dallas's turn. And again, unfortunately, things were quite a bit more extreme down here, not quite as tame with that unwarned tornado. So again, hopefully everybody out here took the warning seriously. The severe thunderstorm warning, because there was no warning for the tornado, but yeah.
Again, thankfully we have no Twitter reports, at least, of structural damage, but that is likely just because we have no chasers in that area. Like Davis said, again, no chaser wants to chase a messy QLCS mode at 9:30 at night in Dallas, Texas. I mean, obviously, no one wants to do that. But by morning, we should likely get our first instances of damage again, if there were any. I mean, it seemed to be a pretty damaging tornado based off of what the debris signature looked like. So, again, hoping that the damage was limited, but we'll just have to see here in the morning.
Here are our chasers. We'll go ahead and full screen. Well, not full screen, but mostly screen John McKinney here. Again, he is in Carrollton, Texas right now. So this is live. This is updated to the second. If we go ahead and 3 times speed this. Again, he is chasing our QLCS line of thunderstorms here. But I think we'll kind of switch to his view here for the last several minutes of the stream, probably. It's not really a great way to do this.
Didn't you say earlier that there were actually some power outages occurring?
Yeah, so we've got about 30,000 customers in Tarrant County alone without power. That number's likely going to rise even further at the next update. And again, that's just the county that holds Fort Worth, so the numbers from Dallas County are likely going to be even higher than that. So, again, by the end of the night, we're going to have hundreds of thousands of people in total without power. Alright. Wish we had another chaser so we could pull that up here. But
yeah. I mean, W. John for literally going at anything.
Yeah, I mean, he is literally the only one that we have tonight.
Dude,
Everybody else is
he's
at home.
been grinding these days.
A lot of chasers are waiting for tomorrow, and I can't blame them. Tomorrow looks a lot nicer, but
Yeah.
anyway.
I know Freddy's in South Central Texas making the long drive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming that he's going for tomorrow.
Yeah, and Stormer Media has a stream scheduled for tomorrow as well.
Oh, okay. I know Jordan's down there, Connor, the whole gang.
Probably bring up our own stream chat here at the bottom. Hold on.
Oof. Excuse me, guys.
But again, thank you to Brayton for the $2 donation.
W. Brayton.
And I mean, we are probably not going to be here for too much longer, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'd like to stay here myself for like another 9 minutes just so I can hit an hour of streaming. Usually that's what I like to be the minimum for my streams. So. Dude, someone was arguing with me on Twitter because apparently when I said that life-threatening and potentially catastrophic impacts towards Jamaica are looking possible, they literally said that I should shut up and that I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm just a kid and Jamaicans can handle a Category 4 to Category 5 hurricane. I was just... I don't know.
We've got an absolute downpour here on John McKinney's stream again. I mean, they are just getting hammered by that torrential rainfall again. This is in Carrollton, which, if I'm not mistaken, is North DFW.
Yes.
Yeah, so just north of Dallas, yeah, they're getting in on some
Wow.
of those torrential rainpours.
Look at that, guys. That is coming off of the gas station awning. It's leaking, actually. That is going to cause some serious flash flooding. You can see the wind whipping around all that caution tape. That is a lot of water.
Sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. Okay. So we'll put you there, Mr. John McKinney. But yeah, I mean, in general, we are not worried about too much else tonight.
I like how he's purposely putting his windshield in the front of that. Dang.
Likely brief funnel or tornado occurred in West Carrollton.
That's just south of John. I don't see anything.
You want to elaborate on that, Karen? Just let me know what you're referring to. Terminal radar tight couplet briefly. Hold up. Let's check her out. Yeah, so what I would say to that is that was, again, certainly that is a really tight couplet, but the terminal radar does like to overdo things sometimes. So I wouldn't necessarily say that was a guaranteed tornado. And again, I know you didn't say that, but I would say that it's certainly a possibility. That's a good call out there. Again, honestly, the terminal radar is probably the best thing to be looking at right now to catch those little QLCS rotations. But
Can says max velocity is reporting another tornado on the ground.
I would guess it's this west of Carrollton here.
So, again, nothing confirmed, but we could have something trying to develop approaching John's location. He's actually just north of there, guys.
So we're going to full screen again here. Supposedly another tornado potentially ongoing west of Carrollton, Texas. Again, this is on the north side of the DFW Metroplex now. So if you're in this area, make sure you're seeking shelter immediately north of Carrollton along I-35 east.
Wow, John is getting hammered by gusty winds right now and extremely, torrential rainfall. Those are gnarly conditions.
Yeah, again, as I said earlier, I would almost place money that a flash flood warning is going to be issued for these areas here pretty soon. We also do have a very weak couplet. Looks like trying to get going near Lancaster, Texas, potentially, so we'll keep an eye out on that as well. But again, I'm much more concerned, obviously, about this potential ongoing tornado. If we look from the other terminal radar, we aren't getting scans as frequently, which is a bit of a problem. It looks like things are broadening out. It looks like a brief tornado may have just happened, though. So again, we may have just had another brief, weak tornado near Carrollton. At this point, it's safe to say that everybody in Dallas should, at the very least, be indoors. But again, preferably away from windows to the lowest floor possible.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to be outside in this, obviously, just because of the rain, but, there's a lot more to it than that. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on that there for a few more minutes. I think I might try to get my stream out to an hour as well.
Yeah. Again, likely we'll see these flash flood warnings kind of follow up out here into Fort Worth and Dallas due to this very heavy rainfall. Whew.
Yeah, that was a pretty tight couple there for a second there. Valley Ranch, we had gate-to-gate shear at 92 miles an hour. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Again, if Max did actually, if that caught his eye, then would not be shocked if we saw a very brief spin up.
And again, guys, if there was another brief spin up there, it would have been much, much more brief than the one that we had several minutes ago. This would be near the Avenue of Champions, areas like Rodeo Drive, Valley Ranch in general. Again, the National Weather Service office in Fort Worth would be relatively close to this, or I guess in, sorry, that's not a National Weather Service office, we're looking at a terminal radar, but anyway.
Dude, I didn't realize that it was so close. I was looking at the wrong thing earlier. It was literally like a couple feet outside of the radar, circle, it looks like. Whatever you want to call that. But yeah, since then rotation has gotten much more broad here.
Yeah, and at this point your rotation is going to be much further north. So now we're looking at this area of broad circulation near Hebron, Texas. Just a second, guys. I accidentally switched my chat over to John's stream.
Good job to Carrot, though, for pointing that out.
Yeah, W call out. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go back to... Well, let's get this a little bit more cleaned up for next stream, so whenever we actually do have a serious situation going on, we got some to work with, so we'll put it...
Strong gusts here.
John is getting hammered. John is getting very strong gusts. horizontal rainfall right now, guys. Oh my gosh. Wow. So the caution tape that was on those, dude, look at that coming off the truck. Wow. Look at all this, guys. Look at all that caution tape that just got, like, completely detached. Wow. Dude, he's getting hammered right now. This is what it looks like in northern Dallas.
Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate the support. That's awesome. And Pat Hanson.
Are you saying this, Davis?
Wow,
Yeah.
thank you for the 5 gifted,
Look at all
man.
that looking around out there.
Whoa.
Dude, the garbage can is going crazy. Again, you can see just... Dude, that's insane. Look at all of that rain coming off the gas station, dude.
Appreciate that, Patson. So lots of W's here, man. Appreciate it. Wow, that's really kind, everybody. Elaine, Laura, Hanson.
There we go. That's what we
Thank
wanted
you
to
for
do.
the
So we got
support.
radar now. And now we got a nice little
We're getting hammered here.
four-way camera. We can work on the dimensions next stream, or in between streams would be the best thing to do.
Sweet.
So again, pretend that this one in the top left here is a another chaser stream, and we got the face cam, another chaser, radar. I like that.
Guys, I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if it's cut off by the stuff I've got on the right side of the stream, but you can see the water that's getting pushed off of that truck there by the wind. Give you guys an idea of how strong it is. Oof. What is happening? Oh my gosh.
Problem with this is we can't pull through the radar.
What's happening to John? It literally looks like he's like under a waterfall right now. Dude, look how what a tree
What is happening?
flipping around.
That's crazy.
Thank
That
you
is a
for the
live
PayPal,
one
man.
from outside
Appreciate
of
that.
Dallas, Texas.
Wow,
That is
so,
That is John McKinney there. That is insane.
Appreciate that, man.
I can't even hear him. Now you can see those trees again. Really starting to get some gusty winds. Insane stuff. There's a guy standing with the door open, just watching it.
What's up, Justin Orr? How's it going? I was hoping to see you out there tonight. This isn't quite your territory, though, I guess.
Future Hurricane Melissa has
again, guys, there's really not a whole lot left to mention here, so I'm probably gonna end up ending off the stream here. Just continuing to watch John's stream for a little bit. But yeah, I really don't see much.
It's way too far. Yeah, I feel that.
We have a Denver
we do
report.
now have a report of a large tree downed in Fort Worth.
We said that at the exact same time. Alrighty, well, I think I'm gonna end off the stream here. So I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Pretty successful live stream. Stay tuned for more updates on Hurricane Melissa. Obviously, a extremely dangerous, life-threatening storm system we're gonna be talking about for quite a while here. So again, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you go subscribe to Davis. Thank you, Sandra, for tuning in. Sorry that you kind of had to catch the end of the live stream here, but I think I can set up a raid here, so we'll send you guys over to Davis's stream.
Oh, I was just about to end off too.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to just do that instead?
Do what? Just end?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess I'll do my outro here too. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, stay safe out there tonight. Probably going to be live here around the same time tomorrow. Actually, maybe even a little bit later than this tomorrow. As we watch for our Supercell Safari across the Gulf Coast. But thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you guys on the next stream. Have a great rest of your night, chat. Peace out.
See you guys.